All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 90-second case competition for today. So I just want to make sure we have everyone in the room before I go ahead and read off instructions. And then what we'll do is we'll have individual folks do the pitch in the order in which you've been assigned. And so do we have the Tobacco Transparency Consulting present?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Lila. And then I see that there's CAAVV Consulting and Fission Impossible. So as you all know, we'll first go through, we'll do Tobacco Transparency Consulting. We'll do their pitch first, and then provide time for myself and Mr. Rosenberg, some time for feedback. Oh, wait, we'll do feedback at the end. Sorry. We'll do, yeah, Tobacco Transparency Consulting first, then we'll have CAAVV Consulting go second, and then we will have Fission Impossible go third, and you'll be the final one for this session. And then once everybody is done giving their pitches, Mr. Rosenberg and I will provide feedback, and then we will go ahead and close out this session for the 90-second pitches. And we're all here thumbs up for the 90-second pitch, right? Amazing. All right, so here are the instructions for today. So just as a reminder, imagine you're an employee of a company and you encounter an executive who asks why sustainable development is important and how that is linked to the team's topic. You will have 90 seconds in which to convince the executive why this needs to be addressed. One member of your team will do this, and there's no Q&A, and then myself and Mr. Rosenberg will provide feedback after everybody has presented. I'm going to be timekeeper, so hopefully someone in your can also help timekeep on your end. But once we hit go, what will happen is we'll actually cut you off at the 90-second and say thank you so much, regardless of where you're at, just to make sure we're being equitable with how we're distributing time today. So 90 seconds is a minute and 30. All right, we will go ahead and let's start with tobacco transparency.
Good morning. My name is Leila McKeever, and thank you for inviting me back today. As an employee of the company, I've learned to understand that this company is focused on public health and sustainability. We want to strongly urge stricter enforcement against tobacco companies like Philip and Morris because their products contribute to severe health risks, including cancer and respiratory disease, while also causing significant environmental harm through cigarette waste and pollution. This will cost us money, we are aware this will cost us money, but in the short term, we are committed to this issue. There has been FDA authorizations for products such as Zyn and Juul, but despite this, they still pose significant risks, both to public health and environmental sustainability. So one of the things that is apparent is that the production process involves the use of synthetic or tobacco-derived nicotine, and this contributes to environmental decay through chemical extraction and waste. Another impact of these products is the single-use packaging. This creates significant waste, much of which is non-biodegradable and difficult to recycle. Because of this, it will pose a long-term environmental burden. We also know that the social sustainability aspect of this is very crucial. With rising youth adoption fueled by flavored products and aggressive marketing, it is more important now than ever that we get ahead of this. As an older sister, this issue does often weigh on my mind because with a sister in my family, it is part of the youth that is experiencing these influences and temptations. The time to act is
Thank you
now
so
before this
much,
becomes.
Lila.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll give you a 3-second marker here. Give us a second to. All right. Mr. Rosenberg, we good?
We are. Do it.
Awesome. All right, Vincent, we'll have you start in 3, 2, 1.
In this fast-paced digital world, AI has become increasingly more significant in the role of our society. Now, what Microsoft has done is that they have employed numerous techniques to create new data centers, but they're not doing it in the right way. What needs to be done is they need to employ hybrid construction and start their areas and build in cooler areas. What happens is they keep building in these hot deserty areas such as Texas and California. And what that does is that significantly impacts their amount of water that they use. By moving to cooler areas, not only will they save jobs, they will also save communities that are at risk for drought. By using hybrid construction, They can also employ environmentally friendly and eco-friendly techniques and materials and support local small businesses in emerging financial markets. By using this, they can not only save money, they can promote their brand better, and it's also more sustainable in the long term and compete with companies such as Meta and Google, which are already doing the same. Being a world leader not only means defining a new path, but it also means creating new opportunities for people, more jobs, and more sustainability. That's all they need. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Fission Impossible.
Wait,
Same
sorry.
thing, I'll give you a three,
I just want to
kind
make
of.
sure my mic works. Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
good?
Awesome, David. Perfect. So we'll give you a 3-second kind of warning, and then we'll go ahead and get you started here. So go ahead and start in 3.
Hi, my name is David Rabelais, and I have an idea to triple the company's profit in just 90 seconds. So right now, there are over 90 nuclear reactors around the US that's producing nuclear waste every day. The biggest problem with this waste is it sits near the reactors in these vulnerable casts that can be damaged by storms or even targeted in a terrorist attack, which can lead to environmental issues and mass health problems. So that means without a long-term storage solution, we are handing future generations over 90,000 metric tons of radioactive liability that's essentially a ticking time bomb. Additionally, with the recent proliferation of AI and data centers, America is undergoing a nuclear renaissance in order to meet the booming electricity demands. More reactors means more waste, which is currently unsustainable. I propose that our company lead the charge by building America's first deep geological repository to store the high-level nuclear waste, the same one created by the reactors. By building this multi-buried repository in bedrock, similar to the new one in Finland, we can just bury and forget the waste for centuries. As for funding, the Department of Energy has already set aside $44 billion for nuclear waste solution. So if we are successful, we are looking at a 100-year revenue stream from every single reactor in the nation, since we'll be the only solution for the US. So I'm asking you, let's partner with the DOE, capitalize on this nuclear renaissance, because the technology exists, the funds are out there. So will we seize the moment, or will we just let it bury us? This isn't about building a repository. This is about leaving our legacy. Thank you.
Okay. Perfect. Mr. Rosenberg, are you ready for some feedback to our teams?
Sure.
Awesome. All right, we'll go ahead and have everyone, maybe by team, let's turn on cameras. So we'll first start with Tobacco Transparency Consulting. Perfect. Mr. Rosenberg, do you want to kick us off with any feedback you have with this team?
Sure. It took a little bit too long to get to the topic, what the issue was that you're going to address. Remember, this is the elevator speech. And you had 90 seconds to deliver what you did in 25 minutes yesterday. And then you ran out of time. That's always important, because whoever you were talking to probably got off the elevator before you could finish. But I remember you from yesterday. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then for me, I think on a similar note, definitely you were working your way into the sustainability matter, but I really liked your attempt to put in the personal connection. But again, because of the runway you were given with the 90 seconds, I think you were able to cut off and not able to finish your thought. So maybe in the future, right, trying to consolidate some of the what the company is doing, because the company kind of already knows, and being really able to focus on, you know, what it is that you're presenting as the solution to the company. But overall, I know 90 seconds is tough, so good job, Lila.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Let's move on to CAAVV Consulting. You wouldn't mind going on camera? Perfect. All right.
I thought you, if I can start, I thought you used your time really well. Again, 90 seconds is like a deep breath and let it out. So good job on that. It was a little bit unclear. You should think about ways to condense your topic so you can just say it in maybe half a sentence. Glad we bumped into each other on the elevator. I'd like to talk to you about ABC. And the most important part of that is, here's what we're doing wrong. Here's how we can make it better. Something like that. But again, easy for me to say, well done preparing.
then for me, I think what I got from your elevator pitch is the idea that Microsoft is putting a lot of their sorry, I'm like reading over like the actual right, the systems in like warmer places, and your suggestion is to move them into cooler places to try to offset some of the emissions that are occurring, right? And I know that there's a little bit more depth into what you're describing, but again, with the 90 seconds, as Mr. Rosenberg was stating, right, trying to condense some of what you're trying to say into fewer words and smaller sentences, so that way you can get a little more of the substance in what it is that you're trying to propose for Microsoft. But again, 90 seconds is a really short amount of time, and you did a great job paring down your time to make sure you were able to get the pitch in. I think you were like under 75 seconds. So great job on that. Perfect. All right, and then lastly, we've got Fission Impossible.
We're waiting for my feedback?
Oh, I can
Okay.
start too.
Good, sorry. Is it David? Yeah.
Yes.
A bit, I know it was only 90 seconds, but you spoke a little too fast, and I had trouble following what you were telling me. And I was waiting for you to tell me what we should do at the company to make things better. I never really got there. But I know how much work went into this, and I applaud you for that.
For me, I think your cadence, you were trying to fit a lot of information in a short period of time, which completely understandable. I think you focused on a lot of the technical aspects of Fission Impossible, and maybe not as much providing the context to someone who doesn't really know too much about sustainability as the executive as to why that was important. You definitely were able to tell us what you wanted to do with the company, how you wanted to work with the reactors, and definitely the nitty-gritty aspect of that, which might be helpful, but if they don't know why they're doing it, or a little bit more about the context in which they should care about this idea, that part is the only part of improvement that I think would could have helped tie in your talk. But again, we know it's tough. So this is probably, I would say, out of all of them, probably the toughest one. You kind of consolidate, you know, a lot of information, a lot of data into 90 seconds. So good job to all our teams.